my screen, everyone?
Yes.
Is it okay? Awesome.
Yep.
Perfect. Cool.
Yeah, sure. Sure.
Nice. So, yes, thank you very much, everyone, for coming. It's our first event of the year, isn't it? I think so. Very exciting to have you all with us. Some people we know, some people we don't, and we will have some time to get to know each other and understand a bit more about the projects that you are working in and generally talk about systems change and all the good stuff. Okay. So before we begin, uh, my name is Yasmin. I will be your host and facilitator today. And this is a space before we begin. This is a space for a conversation, right? A chat, a general catch up, let's say. This is not intended to be talk, presentation, or anything like that. This is a space for us to gather, as it says in the name of this event, is community gathering. The space for us to discuss ideas and learn from each other. So don't be afraid of unmuting yourselves or just putting in the chat ideas, questions that you might have. We are here to have a conversation. Okay. So, just some housekeeping. Yes, again, my name is Yasmin. This session is going to take 90 minutes, and I will share the agenda very, very soon. So this session is being recorded and will be available at our YouTube channel afterwards in case you want to go back to any bits that you maybe missed in the conversation or that you would like to just rewatch. We are going to share the link of our YouTube channel at the end of the session as well. So you can see the past events that we've done and see this recording as well and share with others that couldn't be here today. I will ask you to be on mute if you're not speaking for just for the audio experience of the session. Sometimes you have we have noises on the background and so forth. So when you're not speaking, please mute yourselves, but please don't hesitate to unmute yourselves in case you'd like to share anything, or just put on the chat or raise your hand. What makes more sense for you? And yeah, again, the chat function is available on Zoom, and we'll be taking a look at it. Yes, so we'll be taking a look at it throughout the session. All right. And quick agenda. These are our 5 or 10 minutes of introduction to this session. Then we'll have a couple of minutes to talk about the context. Why did this session come up? What was the idea behind it? And then we'll jump on the activity using the software, the Miro board. Then we'll have a discussion about what is in the Miro board and more. And then the 5 last minutes of the session, we'll just wrap up and then share with you the next steps and ways that you can be engaged in the RIASA website and platform. Okay. So any questions before we begin? I think I will share the Miro board link again in case we have newcomers. Yes, Braden, that's all good. No worries. Yes, if you have to leave earlier, everyone, that's okay as well. But thank you for letting us know, Braden. So let's get started. So just a quick introduction to RIASA. So we are a social impact network based in South Africa and DRC, and that drives systemic change across Africa and beyond. And the main ideas, concepts, methodologies, let's say, that we work with are systems thinking, strategic foresight, course, innovative research, complexity science, and so forth, because we are very much interested and concerned about the complex challenges, the what we're going to talk about today, the wicked challenges that are an ongoing conversation in this complexity system thinking world. And we would like to gather everyone here for us to understand what are you working with, what are the challenges that you face, and what are the potential opportunities that this space offers as as a space for more conversations, more discussions, and more projects and more ideas coming up. Okay, so just here generally, we have our about Reactor presentation that you can take a look here for more details what we do. But essentially, we want to create a network of systems changers and systems thinkers across Africa and internationally as well. So this is a space again for sharing. This is a space for interacting with each other. And this is the first event of this year that we are going to explore ways in which we can do that. All right. So the purpose of this session is to gather diverse experts across Africa and beyond internationally to learn more about your work and connect different approaches in a more unified narrative. So this is a situation that we're going to talk about very soon, but being able to be involved in the same narrative, in the same space, and be able to share, to identify commonalities among our work is extremely important for us to drive systems change forward. And this is the beginning of this conversation. And the value of the session is to practice systems thinking approaches, understand important concepts in this realm, connect change makers across the continent and beyond, and help each other succeed and share ideas. Okay? Is that clear? Is that more or less why you're joining us today? Does it sound good? Yes. Smiles. Thumbs up. Awesome. Cool. Let's get started then with some of the context to why we're doing what we're doing. I would like to ask you first if you've heard about this quote before from Stephen Hawking. I think the next century will be the century of complexity. Have you come across this saying before, this quote before? Is it something that resonates with any of you? Yes, I'll share the neural board link. Sorry. No. Nice. Okay. No. Okay. So, yeah, so Stephen Hawking is a physicist that shared this quote when he was talking about let's say the 21st century. What would this 21st century look like? And he shared this because he started to realize that the 20th century, 20th century, there were a lot of advanced technologies, and there were a lot of developments in science and technology and so forth. And what would be the different vision for the 21st century, right? And then he and of course others around him realized that in order to deal with the challenges that the end of the 21st century or the 20th century started to present us, we would need a new way of thinking about the problems themselves. So we created a lot of great developments before, but now the same thinking that it started the problems that they started to arise in the late 20th century is not going to be the same thinking that is going to deal with these challenges, with these problems. So nowadays we are talking about, for example, climate change, right? We're talking about the loss of biodiversity. We're talking about cyber security issues and AI and all that. And these challenges weren't there in the 20th century. They started to emerge because of the way of thinking that we developed very strongly in the 19th and 20th century, which was more of a linear reductionistic type of mindset, right? And this, I absolutely love this graphic. And this is, I don't think this is going to get old ever because it says so much, right, in this graphic. And this is, in some ways, what Stephen Hawking was talking about. We developed this very linear, predictable A to B type of mindset that created the technologies that we use today before. But now the consequences of this way of thinking are actually embedded in a more complex scenario. They are embedded.
Bring my laptop back.
Sorry, they are embedded in, let's say, in confusion, right? Who has the sorry, who has the answer for climate change? Who has the answer for yeah, cybersecurity crimes and so forth, right? No one has, because the nature of these problems are completely different. And this is what we call the complex wicked challenges. So there is this graphic here that I really like as well, by Christian Sarkar and Philip Kotler, that they understand, they started to put together the different ways in which the wicked problems of the world are connected together. So here you have income inequality leading to war, that leads to refugees, that leads to extremism, that then is developed, or there is a consequence, let's say, of climate events and so forth. So these challenges are not separate. They are interconnected in so many ways that is that this way of thinking of the 20th century is not going to address them. They are from a different nature. And this is what's called the wicked challenges or the wicked problems. So I'm sure that all of you have come across some challenges that you had to adapt. There weren't any easy answers to it, that we had to think about the problem differently in order to tackle them. So it would be in a moment we're just going to the mirror board for us to start talking a bit more about that and how are the challenges that you are facing. So in order to deal with these complex challenges that we have here, we have to act differently. We have to think differently. And one of the ways in which we can start thinking and acting differently in order to deal with these challenges is through network, is through connecting with different organizations, different projects, understanding different mindsets, different professions. How are we going to work together to tackle them? And this session is a way for us to start the discussion of no one here is working alone. We are all working in ways to deal with some of the consequences, some of the wicked challenges that we have in this 21st century, sorry. And that leads us to this graphic that I love as well from Dark Matters Lab, that I think shares in a lot of ways what the context that I'm presenting here. In order to deal with these challenges is not creating necessarily more objects or more things in itself that we're going to have a more prosperous future. Is more than that, is agency that is going to help us, individuals and organizations and groups, to be better equipped to deal with the challenges of the 21st century. Instead of externalities, we're thinking about entanglements, how the project that we're creating can actually be thought as interconnected, and how can we help each other to deal with the challenges that we're all facing at the moment. From private, public, this dichotomy way of thinking, to commoning, to creating an atmosphere, a space for us all to be talking about the challenges, and we all be accountable and working together towards a better alternative, or more healthier, more fruitful future, let's say. So this is a bit of the context in a very, very nutshell that I would like to share with you of why this session came to be and why it's important for everyone to participate in this conversation, right? It's not just me, Riasa, coming here and sharing stuff with you. We all need to participate together and share, right? There's no right or wrong. We are in this sense of communing, we are creating this space together. And it would be great to hear more about your work and your ways of thinking about the challenges that you're facing in the workspace, or the challenges generally that you're concerned about. And this is the main idea for now. Does it make sense for you all? Would you like to share anything before we start? Have you heard about these ideas of wicked problems before? And is it something that makes sense? Yes.
Yep, it does.
Yeah, sure.
Absolutely.
Sure.
Cool. Very good. Okay. So I can stop talking and we can start acting, right? Because this is what we're here to do. I have this, you can see my screen, right? I have this board, and what we're gonna do here. I invite you all to be here on the Miro board with me. If you're not, that's completely fine. You can put on the chat and I can copy and paste for you. So because Riasa is working mainly in Africa, I put the African continent here, but of course I know there are people from outside Africa, which is great. And you can put your stickies maybe above the map if you're in Europe, maybe on the left side of the map if you are in the Americas, and so forth, right? So step one is dragging one of these stickies to the map. Depending on where you are, the sector that you're working on, you use click on this sticky and drag to where you are located in Africa or internationally in the board, right? So first step, if you're working, for example, in tech, click here on the sticky note and drag. If you are in, South Africa, you put here, working in tech in South Africa. And you can write on this sticky your name. You can write your organization. If you'd like to share any links, that would be great. Links of your project that you're participating or of your organization. Then you can put the challenges you are tackling or facing, more of these complex challenges, and then your learnings from being in this space. What does the tech industry, for example, what are some learnings from the tech industry that you can share with us when you're facing a complex challenge, or if you are concerned about a tech issue that you think is complex, then you can add your learnings from that as well. Learning is not always good. Yeah, learning can be bad. Can be, I didn't know how to do this, or there were some challenges that I didn't know how to deal with, and then we can have a conversation about that. Okay, is it clear for everyone? I will put some time here on the board. And if you can't do that on the Miro board, then you can put on the chat and I can drag the stickies for you. All right. Is it clear? You all understand? Yeah, I can see stickies. You're all rocking the world already. That's amazing. Cool. And once you've done that with your one, if you have some time, you can put other organizations that you are familiar with and that you really resonate with their idea and you think they're doing a great job in this systems change world as well. And we can, have a conversation about it. All right. Let me put a timer. Let's say, let's see, 15 minutes for that. Put your organization, you can put other organizations. Yeah. And yeah, again, if you don't know exactly what to do, let me know and I'll be here. Okay, so let me put the 15 minutes and then I can help you with difficulties. Have one, Earth and for all. Yeah, do you want any help with adding Earth for all on the map? Or are you okay with the stickies? Let me know if you need any help. And Godwin, technical difficulties. Well, you can't move the sticky. You might unmute it and letting me know what is the challenge that you're experiencing.
Yeah, okay. I'm having some technical difficulties moving the sticky around to my region. I don't know why.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
So I'm trying that now.
Okay. You can also just come here on the left side of the mirror board. Can you see you have some icons?
Okay.
You can click
Can
on
you,
this one, sticky note,
can you, okay. Can you show
and
me
then
that
you
again?
can, yeah, so on the left side of your mirror board, you have this um, icon like selection here. Can you see that? Here.
Okay.
Yeah, and then you have a sticky note here, a square icon.
Okay.
So you
Let me
can go
walk
and
around that.
just drag to whatever you want.
All right. Thank you.
That's fine. If it fits better as well, put some empty sticky notes here. You can grab one of those. Mm. Just to also say that you can research quickly some organizations and add here on the map as well. That would be good to know new organizations that are doing some systems change work across Africa and internationally. Okay. Well done. This is a lot more colorful than it was before. So that's a good sign of work in the mural board normally. The more colorful, the better. So let's start talking about what you've put here. And how should we start? I think we'll start since Braden said that you need to go very soon, right? So it'd be good to hear. Maybe we can start with you and then we can hear from others what you put in here. Are your ones here on top?
Yeah, thanks for zooming in on that as I guess. So yeah, for those of you I don't know, because I'm pretty sure I don't know most of you in this call, I'm Braden. I'm actually not in Africa, I'm in the UK. My work is still very much in the planning phase, aspirational phase. Yasmin was a sort of a, and I think Arsene and Linda as well were also part of the sort of initial session that we held at the end of January to sort of like a sense making session essentially about the potentialities of what could planetary community look like. And we are sort of calling this initiative the Collective Action Network. I don't know if you did that on purpose, Yasmin, but like the screen is gone. Okay, that's good. Just letting you know. So I guess you said like challenges and learning. So I would say the main challenges that I feel like everyone in this space it's the struggle that I've seen everyone talk about is that the current economic system doesn't acknowledge the value of a lot of the work in this space because a good portion of it is inner work. So, you know, learning, shifting your mindset, you know, building not just knowledge, but wisdom. And then also relational work. So systems work is fundamentally about building relationships, weaving relationships. And I would say a lot of my capacity is work in the in network weaving. So a lot of the you know, people and organizations that I work with are struggling to get paid adequately. They're struggling to fund the work that they do, and including myself, that I'm no exception to that. And, you know, even in places where you think that, you know, this is a really valuable project, like there's so much potential here, that's still a struggle for a lot of people. So, and then the other challenge I listed is about linguistic barriers, and you know the obvious linguistic barrier would be like the sort of different languages spoken, but even within, like, you know, I speak English, so even within the people who speak English, you have sort of domains that use their own unique languages and narratives, and they sort of frame these narratives in a specific way that may or may not be appealing to other groups, not necessarily because they actually contradict each other, but because the language is foreign and unfamiliar. So it isn't necessarily that like, oh, like people fundamentally disagree with each other in this space. It's just that the language is such so that the communication is not as seamless as it could be, and that sort of causes some, you know, inefficiencies, miscommunications, etc. So those are the things that I've come across like over and over and over again, having to like adapt my language, learning the language that other people speak. And the things that I learned, I feel like the one thing that comes up, and I tried to be as broad as possible with this, not like there are lots of little things that I've learned over time, and I have a million of those, but the things that are, I feel like, is fundamental is that people are just fundamentally uncomfortable with uncertainty and change, and they want predictability, they want clear-cut answers, but that's just fundamentally not true. Like it's not, that's not the environment that we live in, and it's never been the environment that we live in. Like, because we've been able to so far, like we haven't drastically, like we are drastically altering our environment now, but like before this, before we had these industrial capabilities and technological capabilities, we didn't do as much damage as we are doing now, and throwing the whole world and ecosystems into uncertainty as much as we are now. And I feel like we, as when I say we, I mean humans, just we're so like, we want predictability, consistency, but that's just fundamentally not possible in a complex system, especially in an open complex system. If you attended Yasmin's talk with what's her name? The physicist woman who wrote the book. Yeah. Yeah. So that's like, we have to be like, teach ourselves to be comfortable with that in order to actually make progress, like understanding that you don't know something and that you probably never will know, but you'll be able to learn little bits and pieces to kind of help guide you along. That's probably the best way to look at it. And then, yeah, the last thing I'll say is that, like, I think I mentioned this before, it's just as much inner work as it is outer work. So a lot of people, you know, kind of think of works as something you do externally, like, oh, this is your job, and, you know, you work in things related to systems thinking. The systems are fundamentally outside you, but that's, you're an integrated part of the system. So that is like, that's what I'm myself working on a lot, just as much as I am, you know, collaborating and working with people. I'm also listening and learning and working on myself. So I would say those are the things that I would want to share more broadly.
Awesome. Wow, there's a lot, a lot here. We need a session just to go back deeply into the outcomes of this session, because I think this is going to be insane. But yes, I hear everything that you're talking about here, and I think especially in this language one, because it's not just about the language of, I don't know, Arabic, Spanish, Mandarin, you know, it's not this type of language alone, it's the language within and across fields, right? That maybe someone says A and the other person says B, but they are really the same fundamental concept. We're just discussing on this superficial level, when in fact they are saying the same things, but it's just different fields have different terminologies for different purposes or whatever. So I hear you completely, and this happens so much that yeah, it's difficult sometimes to know when we should discuss terms and ideas, and when we should just understand that everyone's in the same boat and just start doing the work, right? So yeah, thank you very much for that, Braden. Just to say, we have here in the board as well these dots. So whenever you hear someone's feedback that you agree with, then you can use these dots to say, yes, I hear you. Basically, just grab the dot and, oops, sorry. Oh, let me unlock this. So just, why is this not working now? It should be working. Sorry. Let me just do that again.
One way you can do it is just to use the sticky and then change the shape to a circle.
Yeah, that's true. So let's use these ones here. I will put the circles smaller, and you can just drag these to the ones that you agree with. And if you would like to add anything based on what Braden is saying, if you acknowledge that in your work, then please jump in and share, because this is going to be very important for for us to start understanding what is going on, right, in this space. And also I saw a comment here. Is this going to be available afterwards? Yes, we will leave this board open for everyone to offline in another time to come here and add more stickies. Feel free to add later as well. So yeah, just come here, drag a dot to the ones that you agree with. And if you'd like to add anything to the feedback, then please jump in and we can address that. Okay. So yeah, people hear you, Braden. Yeah, this is a common theme
I feel very
across.
validated. Thank you for your validation.
Yeah, Juan is jumping in 100% on that. Yeah, maybe we can go then to Juan. I see you put a lot of here. If you'd like to build on what Braden was saying and introduce some of the organizations that you put here, that would be great as well.
Let me activate the microphone.
Yes, we can hear you.
First of all, I need to apologize my early English because I usually read and write, but not in conversations frequently.
That's all
Well,
good.
we are located in the Canary Island, that is an archipelago that are in front of Sahara, but belongs to European country named Spain. Suppose that everybody knows where Spain is. It's in the south part of the Europe and it's over the Morocco kingdom. I suppose that you are familiar with this country.
Sorry, Juan, it's a bit quiet, your mic.
Because
We
my
can't hear
mic
you.
is a little bit wrecked in some way. I will try to speak loudly.
Okay.
Well, we are located in the Canary Island archipelago, located in the side of the Sahara Desert. We belong to a European country named Spain. I suppose that everybody knows which country I'm referring, but we are very close to Africa. We have a long history relationship with this continent. Well, we feel as a population very close to the African problems. We have big concerns about the sustainability of this continent and also the sustainability of our archipelago, our island. And we are leading, by the way, I am a technologist. I work with a spin-off of the University of La Laguna, and we try to develop a different kind of bio-based solutions. In fact, we are developing new materials, recycling vegetables residues. We also have a non-profit NGO named Comando Creativo that is devoted to arise the potential of the personal creativity. This is a result that every individual has. We think that is like magic because with creativity we can conform new realms from nothing. In fact, our Lima is our sentence that define ourselves is creative ex nihilo, is creating from nothing. We are developing different kind of projects One of them is devoted to know the environmental reality of our islands. It's named Ecognos. And it's using public data from many sources. And using AI algorithms, we try to anticipate different problems related primarily with the primary sector. We have a silo solution addressed to viticulture, to vineyards road. We have another project that is directly related with system thinking, that is the social intelligence laboratory, that we use system modeling for creating a participatory digital twin of any problem, and we can interact with this digital twin, searching different options for action, trying to minimize the linear secondary effects of linear thinking. Also, we want to develop a system that align different stakeholders of the territory using the SDG goals as a cartography for mutual knowledge, and it's named Auna Project. Finally, because there are more projects, but it's the main things that I want to share with you, is a model from the Club of Rome, that is Earth for All Life. It's a system thinking catalog of factors that you can integrate on your own modeling. It's quite extensive and powerful. I recommend you to contact with this information through the link I have shared. Nothing
Yeah.
more to say by the moment. I
Great.
give you the option to share your ideas and commitments. Nice to meet you all.
Yeah, great. Thank you, Juan, for sharing. Yeah, there is a lot happening in, I think, environmentally speaking, climate change and food insecurity and all that. It's a big topic, right? There's a lot of organizations that are working in this cross sector of technology and food to tackle food insecurity and so forth. So I think there are others who put some of these organizations here or some of these initiatives. Maybe I see the green one here. Maybe we can go to this one.
I actively has demand for connecting to many of you.
Yeah, so
through
please put
LinkedIn,
your
I
thinking here on the
want
chat.
to create a big tribe with people that share commitments and ideas. So I am open to work with any that want to do it.
Yeah, definitely put your LinkedIn's here in the chat, and we can have another discussion coming back to this board and to these initiatives. Yeah, that's great one. Thank you. And yes, siloed work and as you're saying, the secondary consequences of linear thinking are very much aligned, I think, with some of the initiatives and organizations that are here, 100%. Maybe we can come here to Mutile's point. And I don't know if you put the what's the theory here as well, but we can hear from you if you'd like, Mutile.
Thanks, Rias team. Happy to see you all today. For those who don't know, my name is Mutile. I work with Development Dynamics, and we are based in Kenya. So we work around social impact and development, and our focus is really on social issues and basically how they're interconnected. So things like gender, SRHR, HIV/AIDS, conflict, climate change, and just all the complexities that are within those issues. Yeah, so for us, the overarching challenges we see are how to navigate the power structures, especially because we are a global south country. A lot of the work around this space is funded from the global north. So how do we navigate those power structures when the funders perhaps have a certain agenda that they want to push, which is different from the local context and reality? And then another thing is obviously challenging the norms and mindsets. So for things like gender, we obviously know that the programs that we try to implement sometimes are quite radical. When we go to traditional and more rural settings, people are very set in their ways, how they perceive women, girls. Those are mindsets and beliefs that have been developed over hundreds or decades. So it's really hard to address those deeply embedded mindsets. And then another challenge is also just bringing the right people and funding together, because not everyone will think in systems or see the necessity of addressing complex issues together rather than in isolation as a siloed approach. So I think this was also mentioned, part of the challenge is just the economic system does not really incentivize systemic thinking. The political system also does not really incentivize systemic thinking, at least in our context of Kenya, because there's a lot of short-termism. So how much can you get out of this project? How much can you put in your pocket, and not, offer, complete all the deliverables? Yeah, the things that happen because of corruption are a huge challenge in the political system. Yeah, and I think just bringing the right people together also, because systems work takes time, it takes patience, and that's just one of the learnings as well, just the need for us to reorient ourselves to that, because even having grown up in what the system is currently, we are quite used to having quick fixes, and we see an issue, we react to it. We often don't think proactively and plan for a more systemic approach. So that's even us as people who do systems thinking. We have the challenge of reorienting ourselves at the same time as we try to orient other people to the different ways of thinking.
Wow.
Yeah.
A lot as well there, Mutile. We have a dot here for how to navigate power structures. Yes, I think this is an ongoing conversation. It's definitely, this is a complex challenge in itself, because it's very nuanced, right? There's a lot of cultural experiences that come to it. There's a lot of subtle cues and ways of communicating that is embedded in maintaining the power structures, right? You're saying the mindset that that is available and that we repeat. Is not just repeating through words, right? It's repeating through actions. It's repeating through jokes that we do around us, and is repeating through saying what is right or wrong to other people. So there are different ways in which we can continue a specific mindset, and that's tough. So maybe in another session we can talk about power structures, how we are embedded in these power structures and how do we potentially deal with them. So yeah, that's a lot there. Thank you very much, Mutile. And if you would like to share the link to Development Dynamics as well, you can put in here, or you can put in the chat, so more people can know about, about the work, which is fantastic. So who, let me see what else we have here in the board. Maybe you can go to Godwin and hear more from you. And I think you have a very interesting project to share with us. If you'd like to unmute yourself. Or we can go to someone else first and then come back to Godwin.
Can you
Oh.
hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yes,
Hi.
yes, we can. Hello.
Sorry, I'm experiencing some technical difficulties there. Okay.
Yeah, we can hear you still. Not at the moment. Maybe I can just read through what you've put here. So Godwin Odeye, Nigeria Social Business Enterprise. We help industries and small-scale enterprises in marginalized communities across Africa to facilitate and address social and environmental challenges while maintaining financial sustainability, which is a big challenge. I think, Linda, you put the dot here on this one. Would you like to maybe share?
Oh, yes. Thanks, Yasmin, and thanks, Godwin, for your contribution there. Yeah, and the reason why I put the dot there is because this is also similar to some of the work that we are doing at RIASA. And particularly tackling youth unemployment in underserved communities. And we do this by identifying social challenges that can be turned into business opportunities for young people. So yeah, it's quite interesting. It sounds similar to what we're doing. So that's why I put a dot there. And Godwin, I think we will touch base and talk more about this.
Nice. Okay, I can see there is Accountability Lab, Nigeria, Mali, Niger, and Nigeria. So would someone like to talk about the Accountability Lab? Put in here, please. Let's see. Yukai. I think she left. Okay, she had to leave. But yeah, maybe want to look into Accountability Lab and see what they're doing more in the, I think, governance sector. And we can start going down here. Accountability Lab, Zimbabwe. So it seems like a good one spread across Africa. We have here Munya. Would you like to share what you added here? If you can speak.
Yeah, thank you. And you did great on my name. Yeah, so yeah, my name is Munya Joel Chigwa. I am ACD designer by trade, but that's not my only identity. It's just my current identity. So I work for JSI ACD Exchange, and we do a lot of work within the healthcare space. And as you know, we have a number of challenges. I think I saw Asna's what you call it, sticky note, also mentioning about the current challenges that we're facing within the development space, especially within healthcare. So yeah, the big one is on how to continue critical healthcare services within these times. How do you communicate to your program participants, as we call them, on these changes, and while still being cognizant of the challenges that they will eventually face because of the lack of operations that that we can't continue for now. That's one of the big challenges that we're facing. The other one is on delivering human-centric healthcare. I think Mutile so much touched on it. It's very difficult to try and convince donors on the direction, donors, funders, or even governments on some of the directions that you would like to take within the development space. They might have an idea of how to approach certain things, but that doesn't necessarily work. And how do you manage those power dynamics, especially with a donor or funder, to tell them no, and yet they're the ones funding your entire activity. So this is something that has been happening even before my current organization. Even when I was working in Zambia, we had the same problem on managing those power relations. The other one, which are somewhat related, is on decolonizing design and simultaneously building capacity within Africa and Asia to solve our own problems. Because we appreciate, and I'm not saying we don't need higher middle income countries, or we don't need the West or the East, depending on how you're looking at it. But the problem has been that with the lack of context to our problems and our challenges, there's a lot of misguided direction in how the West or the East solves or tries to solve the problems that we face within Africa and Asia. So something that we've been trying to do is to decolonize design, to speak on our own context within our own language, using our own frameworks that work in Africa and Asia. And that also means using our own designers within those continents to try and facilitate problem solving. And this goes beyond healthcare. It's in any sort of development, education, healthcare, governance, any sort of context. That's something that we're trying to do. Thank you so much. Sorry, I forgot to switch on my light. It's a bit dark.
No worries. Thank you very much, Munya. Yeah, there's, I think, already a lot of synergies with the other organizations that we've heard just now, right? See Mutile clapping for what you're talking about. And yeah, this is across the board. There's difficulty, let's say, copy and paste of solutions, right? So what happened and worked here can happen and work there as well without having context sensitivity and acknowledging that people work differently, the culture is different, everything's different, right, in another context. So that's still a massive challenge. And I think what you're also talking about is the funding, right? How to, what Mutile mentioned as well, how to bring this conversation and to be acknowledged by the funders. It is a very difficult challenge because they operate, I think, in different, almost like in different realms, right? There is a certain deadline that needs to be abided by. There's a certain amount of money that is going towards that project and so forth. So that needs to be deliverables, and all the outcomes need to be written down and in a very short period of time. And how to do that also in a different context, because sometimes the funding comes from, I don't know, Europe or the US or whatever. So that's also another thing to acknowledge, which is a very, very important challenge. Yeah, so also just to say that our next on our moving ahead in this session, we are going to have a similar conversation, but in the context
Okay.
of healthcare and in the context of food systems. So it'd be great to come to to these events and share more about similar challenges, but now we're just focusing on specific industries, let's say. And then we can cross-pollinate ideas and understand what more people are talking about and doing. Let's see who is still here and would like to contribute. I think Godwin, I don't know if you'd like to share now with us, if you're available to share. Or we can go to.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Can you? Oh, okay. Good day, everyone. This is Godwin from Nigeria. Yeah, I'm actually an independent consultant. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm an independent consultant, and I help industry and marginalized community, especially the small, older, the small scale enterprise in marginalized community. We help them to facilitate and address social issue and environmental challenges while also maintaining financial sustainability. So a common example of a project that we are doing right now is actually the sustainable cassava-based food production system in Nigeria. One of the things we actually observe about this is that cassava is actually a staple food we consume in Nigeria and generally in Africa. And hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can still hear you.
So we observe that the people that actually, I mean, the processor, the farmers, everyone are actually contributing to this full agro-food system are actually not able to afford livelihood. And as a result of that, they engage in unsustainable practices, which has been a culture, I mean, over time. And so
Sorry, now you're muted. You're muted, Godwin. Okay. Yeah, some tech issues. But yeah, since this map is going to be here available afterwards for everyone to consult and add links and so forth, would be good to, yeah, if you'd like, add more links around. And I'm going to do some of this work as well and put some links here for that to be a map for more people to benefit from. Maybe we can go to one more person that is in here. I don't know if to contribute or Lise or Pucci or Howie. Would you like to share the sticky notes that you've added here? Okay, so Howie just put here on the chat. Following the discourse, building models and processes for underserved communities in Kenya to take charge of the villages and through democratizing of digital access and community-centered connectivity. Interesting. Maybe there are some synergies with development dynamics. And there's what's the theory here as well, right? Interesting. I will add this to the board now. So yeah, so that was the session today. Would anyone like to very quickly share a last project? No? Awesome. Cool. So yeah, again, thank you very much for being here. This was just the beginning of a board, of a map, let's say, that we can create together to notice, acknowledge, identify other organizations in this space that are doing this systems change work, and that are sharing the struggles and sharing the joys of being in this space. And we are going to continue developing it moving forward. So our next session is going to be, as I mentioned, around healthcare and systems thinking. So is a similar idea, is a similar structure to this one, but we're going to bring more organizations in the healthcare community. So please share away this event, share with others that you think can benefit from it and can contribute to the conversation. And then after that, in May, we have a conversation on the food systems. So again, similar structure, but more targeted to the food space. And based on this map that we have here, our next one should be around the social service space, or yeah, or even governance. That seems like there is a lot to talk about there. So yeah, that is the end of our session today. I would love if you could just add a feedback here for us to see if this structure, if this format works for you, or if it doesn't. Please use the sticky to give us some options or some alternatives to better ways that we can engage more people. So this one, I think it will work. You can just drag the dots to whatever space that you would like. Right, I would, yeah, let me know if it doesn't work, then you can use the sticky as well. And you can just drag it in the scale, okay? And there are other ways that you can be in contact with Riasa. So here the website, email, and LinkedIn. On LinkedIn, we share the updates and outcomes of this session, other sessions, opportunities to get involved in projects and participate in other projects as well. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining. It's great to see that this space is increasing and people are getting more familiar with this topic of systems change, and the conversation is spreading. So yeah, thank you very much, and see you in April about healthcare in systems thinking. All right. Have a great end of your day, and see you soon. Bye. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.